Good evening, good afternoon, and welcome to the first live stream with myself, Ruth. Says my name there at the bottom of the screen. Welcome, wherever you are. Let me know where you are watching from. Are you on, which country? Where in the world are you? And which platform are you on? We stream on Facebook, YouTube, and Facebook groups, Facebook page, LinkedIn, every week. Been doing it for over a year now. So this is the first one for 2025. Welcome if you're watching live. I just wait for some people to come on, waffle on a bit. You know how this goes. And I know lots and lots of people watch it on catch up because we look at the stats, and it seems that's the majority of the views. Let me know, is it a bad time? Happy to consider changing the time. Why did we pick 6 p.m.? I guess we thought that it was like maybe on the way home, maybe got home just before dinner, before putting the kids to bed. I don't know. But is 6 p.m. a good time for you if you're in Hong Kong? I'm currently not in Hong Kong. I'll be coming back in a couple of weeks. And I don't know if you want to see, it's currently snowing. Shall I show you? Let me see if I can show you the snow. Can you see that? I'm in Somerset, and it's been snowing and it's pretty cold, and I'm going up north today. I've been loving visiting schools in England. I wouldn't choose to do it in winter, if I'm honest. That's just the way that it works out. I will be coming back to visit more UK schools in May, June. So if you are interested in UK schools, independent schools in the UK, boarding schools, day schools, if you are interested in international schools in Hong Kong, private schools in Hong Kong, I'm here to answer any questions that you may have. Now, it's a bit of a funny time. What I have been finding myself say over and over again, it's easy for me to say, but I know it's hard to do, is to get comfortable with feeling uncomfortable. So many of you, I'm sure, are currently sitting on a wait list, or more than one. And you might be feeling that it's a little bit uncomfortable, and it is, but it is very, very early days. The fact that your child is sitting on a wait list is already good news. It's a lot better than the alternative. Some parents, some results that were out before Christmas were decline. So that's the worst news. Waitlist is definitely not the worst news. And so it's January and we're heading into Chinese New Year. So sitting on a wait list, I know it's uncomfortable, but it might not be. There's hope. There is definitely hope. It's only January. So I think it's just about knowing, keeping in touch with the schools, but not too much. I've got lots of content on the delicate balance between being visible but not being annoying. Again, easy to say but hard to do. Top of mind is a great concept, and I think it definitely works. But also just being realistic and understanding, how good of a fit is your child. So sitting on wait lists, I know that many of you are currently in that situation. Let me know if you have any questions about that. The other thing that we're seeing at this time of year is lots of incoming, lots of families who are either getting word from their employer that they're moving to Hong Kong, which is a little bit late, but it happens, or just deciding, let's move to Hong Kong, and they're looking for spaces for 2025 entry, which is a bit late, depending on the age of the child, but definitely something that we are very capable of finding spaces, best fit spaces, not just any old school. There are always some schools that will have lots of spaces, and there are other schools where it's more competitive, more selective. So let me know, do you have any questions about wait lists? If not, what I thought I would do is go to the Facebook page group, go to the Facebook group and pick up a question or two from there. I mean, I do sometimes post things, but what I am seeing, let me see if I can share my screen. Dum-de-dum-de-dum. Yes, I'm on a computer. Not that one. Oh, yeah, that's the one. Is that the right one? Let me see if I can share my screen. Okay, can you see? Okay, great. This is our Hong Kong Schools Facebook group. Maybe you came from there. If you didn't come from there, if you're watching this from somewhere else, definitely make sure that you can join the Facebook group. So we currently have 31,700 and something members. It's not as busy as it used to be. By all means, use it. You know, we do moderate, myself and my team, and what a lot of people are doing here is crowdsourcing the answers, which is always interesting. So I thought I'd pick up one or two of the. Oh, here we go. This is an interesting event coming up. Epsom College from the UK is in Malaysia, and they're doing an event. So have a look at that, especially if you have a sporty child. I was going to pick up Libby's question. I don't know if you're here, Libby, probably a pseudonym. And these sorts of questions, I mean, I see them when I'm on the go. What I would say to anyone, the best way to use a Facebook group like this, obviously there's 31,000 members, not everyone is active, but most of the members here were at one time looking for a school place for their child, probably already have found it and just sort of staying in the loop, as it were. And I remember Zara, and I remember that the DBIS was her school of choice and her children are there, so she's got a view on that. And that's fine, but Libby's question is a bit too general. What I would suggest, if you do want to ask anything, make sure that you state the age of your child and when you are seeking a space. That's going to help to anchor your question, and therefore the responses are going to be far more valuable, hopefully. At least I find it difficult to answer this question because I just don't know enough information. The second thing is, she says, I'm considering applying to DBIS, ASHK Stamford. Any comments for these schools? Now, if you go to the rules, as far as possible, I'm trying to discourage people from going, any comments? It's just too big of a question. Curriculum's not our main concern. We'd like to provide a caring and happy environment. Well, everybody does, right? Nobody wants to enroll their child in a school that's not caring and unhappy. So the first thing to say is, you know, and where you live would also be another really good point of reference. So age, when. So what is that? It's like how old, where, and when. It's a who, what, why, when, you know, those sorts of questions. If you put more information like that in your question, you're more likely to get a good answer. Seems it's not easy to get into DBIS nursery class. Before it was popular, but seems it's now less people to apply. Not sure why. Yeah, I mean, look, DBIS is a funny market. It's a bubble for sure. And it's kind of true that DBIS, they're more expats in DBIS before, and I think this school does appeal to expats. It was a very, very expat school previously. That's changing, but it's still, let's see what Zara says. Okay, she's very happy with the school and a little bit more information about it. But, you know, Libby, if you want to ask a few more or give us a few more points of reference, that will be super helpful. There was another one that I was going to pick up on. Yeah, these questions like any feedback on XYZ school, it's just too general. I used to be deleting them. I just don't have time anymore. But when you're using a Facebook group like this, we'd really hope that you've done your basic research. You know, we are not Google. Google exists. Google's great. Use it. And then come back and use the group to ask something, you know, like more specific. This is not really the sort of school that we specialize in. And somebody has said it's a local EMI school, so probably go to a different group. I think it was this one, was it? Maxime Minin. It's a while ago now. Just doing research on secondary schools, curious to have other parents experience what their kids going to, looking for science-oriented school and location. What do you like, dislike in the school? I think Maxim Minin didn't get much response, didn't get any response, because again, where do you even start? How would I begin to answer that question? It's huge. It's too big. So use the group by all means. But if, I've got one piece of advice, it would just be to try and make your questions more specific, more targeted. What do you really want to know? And then I think you'll find that you get like better crowdsourced answers. And I myself and my team can also chip in and give you more feedback. We're not still starting in a few minutes. Let me take off that banner. So I'll pop off if there are no questions. So getting comfortable with wait lists is something that I've been talking to parents every single day. It is a bit early to be starting to badger schools with what's happening. When do you expect to know any more information? That process is ongoing. Some schools have had early indications from some parents that they will be leaving next year. That the vast majority of parents, even if they think they might be leaving next year, they're going to be holding their cards closer to their chest and probably not revealing that information at this point. It's too early. They're probably also waiting to hear from schools that they've applied to, so they're not going to be telling their current school that they're definitely leaving, because they also don't know yet. It's a bit early. So definitely we'll have more clarity March and April. The other thing, let me just mention this, having a plan B. I'm also having conversations with parents who did get a decline or a wait list, yet they only applied to one school, and that wasn't their expectation. They actually hoped that would work out. So having a plan B at this stage is, again, it's a little bit late, but definitely not too late. Can your child stay in their current school for one more year? That would be optimal. We're really ramping up and looking at 2026 entry now. So if you are still looking for 2025 entry, is that the best target? Or would you be better to sit back and relax, get all of your ducks in a row, really do it properly for 2026? I don't know. It may or may not. What we typically do when we're working with a family, we can make that assessment and say, well, probably what I would do in most cases is, once I understand the application history and what worked and what didn't work, and see if there are any other options for 2025. It's definitely worth a try. And even if you are planning for 2026 entry, it's sometimes advantageous to apply earlier, so to apply now anyway. Because it might not be a place for 25 August, but it might be a place for January 26 or April 26. Maybe you don't need to wait all the way until August, September 2026. I know it sounds like it's crazy far away in the future, but it really isn't. So we are working with a number of families for 2026 entry. The timeline is pretty, there's not that much time. Don't mean to scare you, but there actually isn't. We've got Chinese New Year holiday. We've got Easter holiday. So what we're doing up until Easter is identifying the best fit schools for that child, doing the academic testing, really getting to know the parents and what they want, and looking at the child's profile, up to now. What kindergarten are they in and how are they doing, or primary school or secondary school. And so that's the process. That's what happens now. We have no hurry. We're not in a rush. We can take our time. We can have as many meetings. It's all quite relaxed, and that's nice. Then after Easter, the families will be going on school tours to understand which schools are really going to take priority. So of around 6 to 8 schools of a long list, if they can visit all of them, that's good, and then eliminate a few of them, and then look at which 3 they're going to apply to. You can apply sometimes earlier, so they may as well just do them, tick them off. I mean, HKIS redid their whole timeline last year, and they were accepting applications from 1st of May. So it's nice to have it in and done. And that application and others are not something that you can prepare in a day or even a week. They're very, very time consuming and, quite a lot of detail. So it takes several weeks to prepare the application. Bung it in on the 1st of May. Good, that's done. You don't need to worry about it. Others won't be available to submit early, but they will be available to submit from middle of August or 1st of September. And as long as they're all done, then it's nice to have a holiday and just come back and say, okay, then bish, bash, bosh, get them in. So 2026 isn't that far away. When you consider that the application needs to be in by 2nd of October this year, that's in about 10 months' time. Working backwards, you just want to take it nice and easy, go slow, no stress, do the early ones, and just don't be late. So, yeah. But if you are looking for space for 25, also get in touch. Right, I'm going to, I don't see any questions or comments. If you have any questions or comments in the, if you're watching on replay and you want to type them in, I'll get to them. So thank you for watching live. I can see that some of you, I've been rabbiting on for 18 minutes. How can I possibly do that? Practice. All right, well, I wish you all a very, very happy new year. I hope that your children are off to a great start in school. I hope that they're happy and that you're happy. And I'll be back on here next week, same time. Take care. See ya.